Hey, this is AJ from Everydaypatio again, and today we're going to be showing you a freestanding elite wood patio cover walkway with only rafters and an ultra emboss. So I started the video with me walking through the patio to kind of give you an idea of how it's going to look like in the end. There's a couple of seating areas that we created with the rafters and kind of a furrowing effect we did at the both entrances. Now we go back to the beginning where there isn't anything, just rough markers where I'm going to put the footings. Here I'm more accurately marking out the footings, and as we're doing that we ran into a king snake, which I guess hunts rattlesnakes. We heard a rattlesnake on the job repeatedly when we would use our power tools. It was actually kind of cool. Here we're digging the footings. You can see they need to be at least 2 feet deep. In ideal situations they can be even bigger. The idea is to stop the wind from uplifting the patio cover or twisting it. That little line you see is my string line, and I use that to determine where the posts are going to be going. Here I'm just showing you the footings we dug. That one I had to notch into a rock. The post actually ended up being embedded basically with the rock. Here I am putting the rebar in. I know these blue gloves look ridiculous. They are. I thought they would help me keep concrete out of my hands, and if anything, it actually got concrete to stay inside my hands. So terrible idea. But we're putting 3/8 rebar into the post to help them from twisting. Not everybody does this, but I do it just for good measure. Here I use the other steel post to shear up these 2 steel posts while I was pouring the concrete. I like to do it by hand, so if anything has to move during the project that I can do it. You could have a concrete truck come in, but I found this to be more effective for me personally. The line's on point. This side's sheared up too with the other steel post. Here I'm walking through it again just to go over this post. It's very important to have your footings in the right spot. It's almost more important than the patio build, because if your footings are off, then the patio can't be built properly. Again, just checking to make sure everything's on point. It should be, because as I pour them I make sure that the footings are in the right place. But you always have to double, triple, and quadruple check. Here I am just making sure it's level. I just put a screw into the steel and ran my line across that. These are the other footings that I eventually embedded posts into also. Now me and Chris are starting to actually put on the aluminum here. So it's ultra embossed aluminum, desert sand, 30-year warranty from the manufacturer. It's a great product, I really like it. I like working with it. And here we are just putting on the sleeves, is what we call them, onto the steel. So it kind of goes as a cover over the steel. It helps add rigidity, and it gives it its finished look instead of just being white powder coated steel. So here I'm putting in the steel posts that have to be on the slab. This is what it looks like after the sleeves are on the posts, and this is me also laying out the 3x8 beams to be laid on top of the steel. Those are going to have steel C-beams in them too. So little by little we get the patio together. You can see the steel coming out of that one post. That's where I'm going to splice the beams together just to give it a clean look. Chris is helping me out with that. Chris is one of our main installers. He's young, but he's good. That's me scallop cutting the 3x8s to be placed on the cover. This was a very custom job, so a lot of custom cuts were on it. You kind of have to determine that when you get to the job site, what's going to have to go. And as I was building this, I would see kind of what's going to look good, how's it going to match. The customer wanted this more aesthetically and have then a shade structure, so a lot of this was just making sure that it looked good in the end. So Chris is laying out the 2x6 rafter brackets now. Again, there's only rafters on this job, so no lattice. It gave it a cool look. 1 foot on center, so about 50 rafters total. This is me determining that all the posts and 3x8s are in the right place, that we poured our footings right, making sure that the build's going to go properly. Matching the overhang with the rafter. So this is how many rafters we really had on the job, an enormous amount of rafters. I don't think I've seen this many rafters before. But it was really cool in the end. You can see that 1 3x8 coming out further where we're gonna furrow out the rafters. So I had longer rafters that I put on those ends. You can see all the brackets are placed. Here's after I've strutted it with the rafters. So just making sure that the overhang's consistent across the entire patio. And then me and Brian are gonna start putting up all the rafters. So in this section, it's kind of like a little seating area that we have to the right there, where the rafters come out further and cantilever over to kind of give it a kind of a cool effect. It breaks it up from just being a straight shot patio. I'm making sure the overhang's right. He's screwing it in when I say go. Generally with your partner on the job or helper, whoever it may be, you got to work together and communicate to make sure that things come out properly. There's that overhang I was talking about. The cover was about 8 feet high, and it gave it a proper height so that these rafters didn't make you feel closed in. Here again, we're just checking every single rafter to make sure it goes well. And now I'm putting on those longer rafters I was saying that I was going to put in the beginning and the end. The rafters in these stages didn't have to be this long, but I just happened to have extra long rafters from the little patio sections I was building. Those mini cutouts. But if you had your rafters at least a foot longer, they'd be proper. The homeowner's just coming out to confirm that he likes it and how we're going to do it. I'm going over him, explaining what I'm going to do. He actually wanted to leave these rafters long. I explained it would kind of look weird, so we ended up cutting them back to the same length as all the other rafters. And then after I cut them, I scallop cut them by hand so that the caps would fit on. And that's something you just get used to over time. Brian here, seeing the scallop cut, wanted to prove to himself that he could also. So here he is trying. And in the end, he actually does scallop cut it, so good job to Brian. Hopefully there's a raise in your future. But in all honesty, scallop cutting is pretty hard, and I'm proud that he could do it. That's one of the hardest things to teach people, is just really handling and cutting the aluminum by hand and not making sloppy cuts. And here we are, we're at the end. The entire patio has been built, all the rafters have been put on. You can kind of see it really makes like an awesome walkway. Yeah, I was glad to build this. I was glad to be able to make a video of it. So that little seating area, they have a little putting green there. They're going to do more work on their house, and I'm probably going to come for a photo shoot later on. So at this point, I just want to say thank you for watching. If you guys have any more questions, want to see different types of jobs, life rooms, sunrooms, insulated covers, non-insulated, lattice, rafter only, any type of job you want to see, let me know. So be on the lookout for our next video, and Everyday Patio out. Thanks, like, comment, and subscribe.
Readings over Kansas that were very pleasant today. However, we are looking for a new front to begin to drift south and eastward. The central and eastern parts of Kansas will very probably be cloudy in the morning, and then western Kansas will begin to get increasing cloudiness by tomorrow afternoon. Today, however, very pleasant reading. 73 up in the Goodland area, 72 at Garden City, 70 reported by Dodge City and Liberal, 72 over by the good folks of Garden. And in the Ponca City Blackwell area, 68 degrees today.